This is a wrestling comparisons special edition. Now, normally when I do wrestling comparisons, I compare the wrestlers themselves. But today I'm going to be comparing the action figures. That being the AEW action figures made by Jazzwares and the WWE action figures made by Mattel. I am very excited to do this right here. I got some of the best newer age Mattel figures in my opinion over here and some of the best Jazzwares figures of all time over here. Not necessarily like newer age. Some of those are from older series, like that Kenny Omega, like the Darby Allin. I think that one's from Series 2, but of the Unrivaled line. But yeah, what we're gonna jump right into it right now. We're gonna see which figure company is better because obviously they're two very different figure companies, two very different wrestling companies. But we're not looking at wrestling companies. We're looking at figure companies today. We're gonna see what articulation is better, head sculpt likeness, just accessories, quality, just all that stuff. We're gonna look at it today, starting off with longevity. By longevity, I mean which company has been making the wrestling figures for longer for their particular brand. And it doesn't take a genius to figure out that Mattel has been making them for longer. Mattel started production in 2009 and then released in 2010. I think AEW figures released in 2020. I could be wrong on that. But yeah, I don't think it was 2019 because 2019 was like the launch year, so it would have been pretty hard to make figures that quick with it being the launch year of All Elite Wrestling. But yeah, I do give that point to the WWE figures so that they get the first point right there, which is a Lego piece. As for articulation, this is where it's gonna get a little bit spicy and probably a little bit controversial. So we're gonna start off by looking at the AEW articulation. I got the unrivaled. I think this was Series 4 Kenny Omega. I could be wrong. I might be Series 5. I think it's Series 4 Kenny Omega. But this ball joint articulation moves really nice. Obviously, it's an older series figure, but still moves really nice. I'm take a look at a newer age AEW figure, that being the unrivaled Series 12 Anthony Bowens right here. And still the ball joint articulation moves amazing. Love that articulation on the AEW figures. Now we're gonna look at the WWE figures. This is a newer age elite Seth freaking Rollins right here. This is the Elite 109 Seth. And we're gonna take the belt off so we can look at the articulation a little bit. So articulation, torso, arms, everything up top moves great. But you move down to the legs, which is the main topic. I forgot to test the AEW arms, but those still move pretty nice right there. But as for the WWE leg articulation, I don't know, dude. Like I really don't know. I'm not exaggerating this. That is how stiff these Seth Rollins legs are. That they've gotten a little bit better over time because I've had this figure for a while. But I don't know, dude. He does have pins on the knees, which makes the knee joint articulation better. But we're gonna take a look at a pinless figure right now. Among this pile of WWE figures, we're gonna take a look at this Finn Balor right here. This is the pinless knees Finn. We're gonna take the jacket off, and as you can see, I don't really. I don't really think pinless knees are for WWE figures. And just overall, I think like the WWE Mattel articulation these days, it's just not doing it for me. To be honest, it's just not doing it for me. So I'd have to give that point to the Jazzwares figures right there. That might be a little bit surprising, but just modern day Elite figures, articulation, it doesn't cut it for me. So I'm just gonna give it to the Jazzwares figures. That's their first point. As for head sculpts, now obviously Mattel has a lot of like the TrueFX head scan technology stuff, so they're able to capture the likeness a little bit better. Two of the most underrated head scans that are of like newer figures are the Braun Breaker Elite 104 and Shinsuke Nakamura Elite 109. This looks exactly like Braun Breaker right there. The depth is perfect. You can see the good focus. You can see all the beard detail and everything. Same thing with the Shinsuke Nakamura. I was going crazy over this head sculpt during the review. He looks just like Shinsuke Nakamura. Just the perfect depth for those faces. AEW head sculpts, on the other hand, I do like. I do think a lot of them look like the character. You can see MJF right here. I think that looks like MJF right there, but just like they don't have the True Effects head scanning technology, so I don't really think that that they really stand a chance against the WWE head sculpts. But for what they are, I think the AEW figures do a really good job on the head sculpts. There's some that they miss, obviously, like that like the Jake Hager, the first Jake Hager that they did. That one wasn't very good. But I think most of the head sculpts they do good on. But I would have to give that point to the WWE Mattel figures. So that they get the point for head sculpts right there. As for quality, I talked. This is like quality of the figure. I talked about articulation earlier, but like when you have an action figure made by Mattel in your hands, you can just tell that it is a quality action figure made by a company who really genuinely cares about. I'm not saying that the AEW figures don't care. I'm just saying that you can really tell, especially with the Mattel figures, how much pride they take in their work and how much quality they put into every single figure. When you see tattoo detail, logos, articulation, which isn't as good on some other ones, like I mentioned, but articulation on this Dominic is really good. And the formula for the figures, proportions, scale, you can tell they put a lot of time into their figures. And the AEW figures, one problem that I have with these figures, they keep reusing so many parts. Like I have like six figures, probably like over six with this exact same torso with like no paint changes to it whatsoever. Maybe aside from some tattoos or something, but they use the same skin tone on a lot of people. They use the same torso and leg mold and arm mold on a lot of people. And just sometimes it gets a little bit annoying. And they use a lot of different molds on the Mattel figures, so I would have to give that point to the Mattel figures for quality right there. And so basically, I'm just talking about part usage, what they use. As for detail, oh boy, this is gonna get a little bit interesting. So, WWE Mattel figures obviously have a lot of detail. You can see on this Logan Paul, all the detail on the tights is immaculate. The detail on the Prime bottle right there, like if you get a good focus, you can literally make out like every detail of that Prime bottle. It says like blue raspberry Prime hydration drink. It's very cool. Details in the face, details on the jacket and all that. It's not just with this Logan Paul. It's like with every other figure. But I look back at pictures on the back of the box for the WrestleMania 39 top picks Logan Paul. As a matter of fact, I'm actually gonna get the box right here. You can see that he had yellow paint and then like the straps on the bottom of the boots. So I mean that's not really the most necessary detail. It would have been cool to see that still though. And then you go to the AEW figures. Look at this Anthony Bowens. Boom, he's got the strap on the bottom. It's molded. You can feel it. All the detail on the kick pads. They did not have to do that. And of course, a lot of times the Mattel figures miss tattoos with their CM Punk figures, like drug free, like drug free on the knuckles. He doesn't even have that on the modern day elites, and he's also never had the Pepsi logo. He's never had the Cobra logo. So, but AEW figures did give him the Pepsi logo and the Cobra logo. So I just think AEW figures are more detailed personally. This is gonna be I see this being a very controversial video right here, but it's a video that needs to be made. We need to find out which action figure is better. Figure release time. This is a pretty unique category right here. I'm talking about the speed at which the brand pumps out the action figures. Sometimes we have like attires from that year in the same year that the people wore them, if that makes sense. Like within a year, we had WrestleMania 39 Logan Paul, we had WrestleMania 39 Roman Reigns, we had the Seth Rollins Money in the Bank World Championship gear. So I'd definitely give the release time to the WWE figures because like sometimes you see AEW figures that they can take upwards of like 2 years, or probably a little less than 2 years, but still like just a little less than 2 years to pump out certain attires from certain shows or certain characters. I'm trying to think of somebody we still don't have a figure of yet. We don't have a figure of Roderick Strong. That's one thing. He's been in AEW for a couple of years. And yeah, just overall, feel like the WWE figures are better at pumping out the characters and the attires. But we still saw an Adam Copeland recently from the AEW figures within a year of his debut. So that's definitely a step up by the AEW figures, pumping out the characters more quickly. As for cloth goods right here, I'm gonna grab this Chris Jericho. I have yet to have any comparisons to a Mattel figure with him. So this cloth good is really nice. You could use it for a lot of different people. You could even use it for a Darby Allin if you want. I'm gonna take it off so you can see everything. You can see the really nice glisten on the cloth. This is like a pink jacket right here. You can see all the different dot logos and just all the detail on this jacket is really nice. It's fully black on the inside, like I'm sure it is in real life. Collars on the front, like the flaps, sleeves. This is really nice, and you also got the molded fake pockets right here, if you can see that. But one thing with this one in particular, you lock up the Velcro, and then after a while, like it's completely disconnected now, and it doesn't stay as well as the WWE Velcro does. But then you look over here on this Dominic Mysterio. Velcro stays on really nice. It's not going to go anywhere. You can like minorly pull it and it won't like go. It won't like unbuckle. And overall, I just think the quality of cloth is better on the WWE figures. And also, I really hate to bring this up, but this John Moxley stainage on the arms from the cloth jacket. I forgot what series this was, but he's got some stainage on the arms. If you guys can see that and on the other side a little bit, some on his back. You can't really make it out too much on camera, but overall, I think the WWE figures stain less. But you look at this Finn Balor, there's stainage on that too. So I don't know what to think. I really don't know what to think for this category. Now he's not going back there, but there he is, Finn Balor. Um, so WWE figures get the point. Now I was trying to figure out if I'd put the Lego piece on there for a second. We got one more category, that being customization. Now, I don't mean like painting stuff or anything like that, custom decals or anything. I mean interchange parts, stuff like that. Like you interchange stuff, you're able to do that. I'm gonna grab Orange Cassidy right here. He's one of the only AEW figures I have yet to get a comparison with. On the AEW figures, you can remove the head. You can like break the torso in half at this point if you wanted to do that. You can pop the torsos off of the legs, which I always thought was pretty unique. I'm not sure if the arm did the arms come off. I don't think they come off, but yeah. Even if you don't get a set of interchangeable hands, the hands come off. And if you've got like ball joint legs, you can like turn it this way and then like break that off if you want. Which I'm not gonna do because that's probably like the highest chance of like breaking the figure that you have with those AEW figures. But yeah, that the AEW figures a lot of different pieces come off, so you can do a lot of different customization. For the WWE figures, you can take off the hands right there, as you can see, even if they don't come with interchangeable hands, which is a bit of a rarity. You can take off the head, and if a figure comes with interchangeable hair, you can swap the hair piece around right there, like on this JD McDonough. So it's not as many parts that come off on the WWE figures. So as for customization, like customization ability, what you're able to do with that, I would give that to the AEW figures. But yes, that has been the WWE action figures versus Mattel action figures wrestling comparisons. Figures were falling around a lot during this video, so I apologize. But yeah, we've come to the conclusion that WWE figures do beat out the AEW figures 5-3, and I do think that I do think the WWE figures are better. There's just minor things that the Jazz Bros figures have yet to improve on, and to be honest, there's still some minor things that the Mattel figures starting to improve on, like that leg articulation. But yes, this has been Jed Wrestling out.